The Prime Minister claimed teenagers were responsible enough to pay tax, responsible enough to join the army, and should be able to cast a ballot. So, why aren't they responsible enough to become local party bosses for his party? Well, I'm joined by broadcaster Danny Kelly and editor and contributor at Turn Left Media, Ben McLaine. Ben, I'll start with you. I mean, listen, I think that gets to a point, we've seen a ministerial resignation this week over basic hypocrisy, where you just start to go, do you ever mean anything you ever say? Do you get that feeling as someone who's on the left? Do you still get that feeling from this government?
Oh, Keir Starmer is a morally corrupt serial liar. So to give you a bit of background into why the left of the former left of the Labour Party dislikes Keir Starmer so much, in 2020 he ran to be leader of the Labour Party, and I was one of the people who voted for him on the basis that he was essentially like, I quite like Jeremy Corbyn. A view here which is probably not widely held, but I quite like Jeremy Corbyn, and he essentially sold himself as Jeremy Corbyn in a suit. He made 10 pledges and said, OK, so we're gonna stick to these 10 pledges. But the word pledge, it's a cleaning fluid for Keir Starmer. He made the pledges. As soon as he was elected leader of the Labour Party, everything switched and he started listening to Morgan McSweeney. He broke all of his promises. I've probably disliked Keir Starmer, and the left more generally in this country has probably disliked Keir Starmer for a lot longer than people have been paying attention to his dishonesty in terms of his overall dishonesty. As to the 18, 16-year-old thing, of course it's hypocrisy. Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's
hard to defend, isn't it? It's quite hard to defend it. I mean, realistic, it's quite hard to defend it, I think. That's the kind of the problem he's got here. Danny, I guess one of the problems people have is that Labour, before the election, sort of sold themselves to the country as they held the Tories' feet over the fire for anything they had done wrong, and they said, we'll be better, we're greater than good, and it's come out. I mean, within the first few weeks of their government, it was getting like this. Now we're over a year in, and it feels like it's just one hypocrisy after another, eh?
Do you know, I can't think of a politician who is more loathed than Keir Starmer. And I go back to, like, Maggie Thatcher, and she was loathed. I go back to Boris Johnson, and because of the referendum, he was loathed.
Yeah.
But it's incredible to hear left-wingers, like my new friend Ben here, who dislikes him so much, he's prepared to come on national telly and call him morally corrupt, or words to that effect, Ben. And in fact, I think you said a liar.
Yes.
Yeah, which you would never get, really, with the Johnson era or the Thatcher era. Supporters were supporters. It was tribal. But it seems to have split the tribe, Keir Starmer. And he is loathed by so many people. He's come on, like, he should not have said, I'm going to smash the gangs. You know, he called Rwanda a gimmick. Now, we may have differing views about immigration and lads coming over on dinghies, Ben and I, but you should have allowed the planes to take off to see if it was a gimmick or not. There are people, how much it cost the British taxpayer for these lads? Mostly lads...
Thousands of pounds.
Millions a day.
6 million, I think the hotels are a day.
OK, if Rwanda had been a relative success, you make that back. It's like being in business. You invest 50k to make 60k. You invest 60k to make 70k. You invest a lot of money in Rwanda, hoping that it pays off, and then you make that money back because the kids ain't coming over on the dinghies.
I think, Ben, the thing about hypocrisy is this, is that British people elect politicians on the basis that they're going to do the job they promised that they've done and all going to do, right? And I think time and time again, when you see things like this, or they say, we're going to have votes at 16 because we'll tell the public everyone's responsible, right? All these young lads and young girls are responsible enough to vote, but actually they can't be part of the Labour Party, they can't be an official, and they can't stand for office. I mean, it stinks, doesn't it, to people? It stinks.
It's obvious hypocrisy. I think one of the problems with Keir Starmer's approach to the whole migration thing, and of course we're going to disagree on this, is that that there are cases you can make that are appealing to the right, that are honest, I think, to do with migration. For example, in his final speech as US President, Ronald Reagan made the case that the US was the custodians of not just the freedom of America, but the custodians of the freedom of the entire world because of the way that they accepted refugees, because of the way they accepted asylum seekers, because of the way that they accepted immigrants in general into their melting pot of a country. It was part of American freedom. That's the sort of image that I want Britain to have. I want to see Britain, I want to see figures like Jeremy Corbyn, Zach Polanski and Zara Sultana standing up for the rights of refugees in a way that's strong, and I just haven't seen from Keir Starmer.